Good afternoon. Welcome to Inside Salem. I'm your host, Mike Allen. On this show, we try to cover a little more in-depth the issues of what's happening around Salem and discuss it from multiple points of view and lay it out, just the things that are happening that you might not, it might fall by the wayside. And to help with that, we put together a panel of local people who are in the know. We have Teasie Riley-Goggin, political analyst. We have Domingo Dominguez, former councilor at large.
Thank you, Mike.
Tom Furey, former councilor at large, former school committee member and current planning board member.
Thank you.
And attorney Jim Fleming, former school committee member and former Ward 6 city councilor. Welcome all.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Okay. Some of the topics we'll be talking about today is a relaxing of parking requirements for housing, condo conversion limits, although it seems like the horse has left the barn on that, and the Hawthorne Hotel turning 100, projects for Salem State University. And to kick it off, I want to talk about a writer in Salem News, been there for years. It's a column I really like. His name is Arthur Francis. He's 97 years old.
Weatherman, yeah.
Yeah, he's been writing a weather column it's usually like the 3rd or 4th of the month, and he'll talk about what the weather was like in Salem last month and compare it to his records, which go back about 50 years, and then he'll talk about what the expectation for the next month is, and usually the highest average high temperature is this, and the average low temperature is that, and he'll talk about 2006 we had a high temperature of 102, and in a storm of 78 we had this amount of snow over a period of a week, and he'll just talk about the different things. And I've always enjoyed his column. Hope he enjoys his retirement, and I hope the Salem News finds someone to step in there, because that's one of the things I enjoyed most about the Salem News, that once monthly column.
He's retiring? Or?
Well, he's retiring, and I'm not sure if he's stopping writing his column or not. But he's 97.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. He's married to I think Joe Ingery's first wife.
Oh, okay.
He taught at Salem State University for many years.
Right.
Weather
Yes.
science.
Yeah.
Weather science.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, let's kick off with congratulations for the Hawthorne Hotel. Turned 100 years old.
Very successful celebration.
Yeah.
Did
you go to it, Jim?
No, I went to lunch the other day. I meet two guys from BC once a month at the not the dining room, but the lounge.
Right, which they changed the name of.
Yeah. And very, limited menu, but very nice. And they were talking about it, and the waitress was talking about it, and I saw somebody else that said it was a spectacular time.
Yeah.
I really didn't know about it.
Yeah.
I see I'm out in
Yeah.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
It's a great institution, and we want to wish the best. I happen to know Mr. Harrington, great person, and
Started as a bartender.
Claire, the manager for many, many years. I'm happy to buy the house where she grew up, and
Did you?
very, very great
Yeah,
person. Yeah, 18 Raymond Road, and I even have some memories in the back of my yard from her and her brother.
Very good.
So I wish the Hawthorne Hotel many, many, many years of success, many more,
Me too.
maybe 200 or 300, 400 more, so continue to grow.
Better guy than Mike Harrington.
Yeah, very
I've
nice.
traveled all around the world, China and Japan. That's my favorite hotel. It's such a cozy atmosphere. It's like Red Sandwich Shop. They know your name, good management, Mike Harrington all the way down, the Harrington family. They run 2 other hotels, one in Concord,
I didn't know the one called. I know we Sturbridge Village.
Sturbridge Village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a real great family, great legacy to the city of Salem.
Now, I mean, he rescued that place because that place during the 50s and 60s was sort of like a residential hotel for that's sort of like, one step before
Closure.
slums,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
It was not in good, not in good stead, and he, brought it back to life.
He and a partner,
Yeah.
Jake
Jake Siegel?
Siegel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Mike and Dot, they did a wonderful job working together on that. And the idea you're talking about, the other places that they own, it's rather nice that you can be so successful that your children, each one of them has something. I'm still waiting to see exactly what will happen with the O'Donnell Funeral Home, which was it was purchased by Mike and Dot.
Anthony's running it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to him today.
You did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and I know that
He'll be very.
Dot, she lived a good life, a wonderful life. She was a wonderful person. God rest her soul.
She's my
right? Yeah.
babysitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
See, my sister and I, when my parents went out, which was an orphan,
Right.
Dot was our babysitter. Dot Leahy.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. City of Salem is looking for someone to build low-income to market rate housing on First Street and
On what street, Mike?
First.
on First Street.
Street.
Off of Highland Avenue.
Yeah.
I know where it is.
The old St. Vincent's.
Somehow I didn't get that transfer. I didn't transfer that to my
That's the
thing.
property?
Yes.
Tom, I didn't write down my information here on my thing, so I've sort of lost it. So can you
There's
update us
Hawthorne
on-
Commons up there, which is really high-end apartments up
Yeah.
there. The old Vincent's Potato Chip on Highland Avenue.
Right, yeah.
It is a
And-
very nice development.
That is.
The facade part of it is, and the new part, those condos are very nice.
Yeah.
The Farrell Court is named after Bill Farrell, who was a good aide to Mayor Jean Levesque. And the Salem Housing Authority owns property up there.
Right.
And they're going to build 150 units. There was an idea way in the past of putting Rainbow Terrace there.
Yeah.
When Salem State College wanted, university wanted
Yeah.
Rainbow Terrace over the years. But that was put on the back burner. So now, good news for low-income housing and moderate-income housing, 150 units on
Okay.
Highland Avenue. That's a great big boom for public
And it's
housing.
going to go,
So it's
it's going to be,
First Street and
Yes.
Highland Avenue?
Yes.
So, but it's going to face where? Face First Street?
I think it's further in. It's in
Further
Farrell.
in. Farrell Court.
It's in,
Oh,
not
Farrell
on Highland
Court,
Avenue.
Bill Farrell.
Yeah.
So then they're going to put another 150?
Yes. There's property back there designated for the old Rainbow. Now it's going to be housing, as Mike said.
Right, yeah.
Could
Good news.
is it going to be high-rise apartments?
I don't think so, not for the housing authority. There's limitations. I think it would be like the one on Leaford Terrace. I think it would be 4 or 5 floors.
Okay.
You know,
Not
I will
high-rise.
tell you, Rainbow Terrace, it goes back to the days that my dear coach and friend and choir master, Cam Dalton, was in charge when Rainbow Terrace. And I look at and walk around there sometimes when I go to visit people I know, and I think the idea is so wonderful. It's a true neighborhood.
It is, but
And
it was
that's
supposed
what
to be
they
for
need.
veterans.
Right, yeah.
That's right.
Only veterans.
Yeah.
Well, what used to be, it used to be. Yeah. And there are some veterans there, a lot more
Not
recently.
many.
Yeah.
And
No.
they get on a list like everybody else.
But it is a neighborhood, and I would hate to see them take that away. These cement villages that they're building, high-rises, it's terrible.
Absolutely terrible. It's
Yeah.
not Salem.
So, in any event, this thing here, they're talking about 150 units, and the units are going to be they're doing a 99-year lease with the developer, and they're going to be very income restricted. They're going to be restricted to some units for people as low as 30% of the median income, up to no more than 100% of the median income. So it is going to be
That's
very
not much money.
Right, that's going to be very, very restrictive in
money.
terms of, the lower income.
But we had to look
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
median
And
income.
150 units,
The median income had to be
Now, you
not
said-
compared to the one from Boston.
yeah.
It had to be compared with a similar community like
Yeah.
Salem. in order for us to have
Yeah.
really real low income.
I'm a little confused on the location. The old Salt's Chevrolet is up there,
Right, yeah.
and that's now that's now
It was Hillcrest.
huh?
Hillcrest Chevrolet.
Oh, it's Salt's before.
Oh, was that? Actually,
Yeah.
I didn't
Salt's
know that.
before, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry to be out of date.
And but where is this located?
I assume it's in with all those other units behind that, not on Highland Ave itself. On First Street and all those different condo
Hawthorne Commons,
developments?
it's called. Hawthorne Commons. And the federal court has subsidized housing.
Okay, so it's sort of behind
Behind.
Hawthorne Commons?
Yes.
Okay, so behind
Yes.
Hawthorne
Yeah,
Commons.
because that's not where Vincent's was.
Right, yeah.
I looked into buying Vincent's when it was sold the first time,
Okay.
and
Small world.
yeah,
What were you going to develop it into?
I was going to do chips.
Oh, you're going to keep it at Chips?
Yeah. Everybody loves chips.
That's true. When I was in like the second or third grade, we did a field trip from my grammar school in Lynn to Vincent Chips.
Yeah, they
and of
were-
course it was great because we got a big bag of chips as a sort of a bonus.
Family by the name of Boya bought it.
Yeah.
There's going to be
So
a
those
long-
people who don't know, Vincent Chip was the Salem Chip Company. That's back when you had local chip companies. You didn't have, nationwide
Right.
companies like Lay's and Wise and Hares and things like that. So the local company was Vincent Chips, and in Lynn it was Boyd's Chips.
Correct.
And I know that when we had a store in Lynn, we carried Vincent Chips, and people get mad at us because we didn't carry Boyd's. You're going to carry a local chip. We were carrying a chip from Salem rather than from Lynn. It wasn't like we were carrying a chip from California. It was sort of funny. But
There was one.
yeah, there was a real loyalty to the local
Yeah.
chip maker.
There's going to be a long waiting list to get into that new public housing.
Well, I assume so.
Long
There is in
waiting
all
list,
of these things.
As you
yeah.
said, some of the stats.
Yeah.
So this is not public housing. This is,
Run by the Salem Housing Authority. Yes.
oh, it is public.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salem Housing Authority.
But the developer is going to own it some way or other.
Like Leaford Terrace almost.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the other two and the other three, Loring Towers
Okay.
and
Salem
Pequod Heights.
Okay.
Pequod,
Salem Heights.
Do you know
Salem Heights,
who?
yeah.
Do you know
Pequod.
the developer?
Highlands.
huh?
Anyone know the developer?
I don't think it hasn't. There is no one
Well,
at
the
this
developer is going to be,
point. Win.
I don't know.
I was telling TC before the broadcast,
Yeah.
I'm going to a hard hat open house
Yeah.
to the old St. Mary's School on Hawthorne Boulevard.
Yeah.
It's going to be 27 units of artist studios, and TC was right about that. They're going to have a hard hat tour next
Right, yeah,
week as we
yeah.
broadcast. And very soon, I think, for the same situation, Mickey Norcoff and the Community Development Corporation is going to open up St. James in October. St. James will open up
Really?
on Bridge Street. The same developers going in.
Huh. And I mean, I know they've been working on it there. I mean, it's going to be done.
Done. They
wow,
were ahead
okay.
of, they're ahead of schedule, which is good news.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
a long waiting list there.
Yeah. I
And a
mean,
long
again,
waiting list
it's
for St. Mary's.
it's when private developers work, they seem to get things done a lot quicker than when
Much quicker.
government works.
Yeah.
quicker.
But Mickey Northcutt is not around. He's
No,
in
he's in
California.
California.
right?
He moved.
It's no longer.
So the assistant
Right.
director got bumped up.
Yeah.
Community Development Corporation
Yeah.
on Lafayette Street.
Okay. In a similar vein, or in a good segue, is to the city council is talking about reducing parking requirements on these type of developments. So instead of
money.
needing one space or 1.5 space or 2 spaces, it used to be 2 spaces at one time, and they
One
dropped
time,
it to
when I was,
1.5.
I think,
Now they're talking
when I was
about dropping
first on
it to
the,
1, is it?
when I was first on the appeals board, it was 2 spaces
Yeah.
per unit.
Yeah.
It's an ordinance written in concrete. It's hard to change a written ordinance in concrete, as we all know, dealing with city government. And it's been almost 65 years since it's been like 1.5 per unit.
Okay.
And now with the changing demographics and need for more housing, for brand new development taking place, once this ordinance is passed,
Yeah.
it will bring it down from the 1.5 maybe to 1 car per unit.
One,
Because
okay.
such a demand
Okay.
for housing. Do we need 1.5?
Yeah.
Because that takes a lot of
It's not
concrete.
going to work.
All it does is going to, well, I mean, we're going to have biggest parking lot in the North Shore.
Yeah,
It's not currently referred to as our streets.
yeah, right.
They had a public meeting of the city council
We
recently
South Boston.
and the planning board.
With
And being
the,
on the planning board, we had that presentation.
Yeah.
And I gave you some of the stats on that
Yeah,
situation.
right, yes.
They took pictures of Salem Heights, Pequot Highlands, and different developments.
Yeah.
And at certain times, nobody's there. Nobody's parked in the visitors lot and so on. And
That's true, because during the day, everyone's at work.
yes, these pictures are nighttime too. Nighttime too.
You need it you need it for peak time, just like when you have electricity. You can't say, oh, we use 100 units a day of electricity. Let's make average 100 units a day.
Yeah.
Well, during noontime, they might only use 10 units.
Right.
At night, at supper time, they're going to be needing 200 units. It means you need to make 200 units of electricity.
My mother worked. My mother lived at Salem Heights, right near you, Salem Heights. And at nighttime, I could get in easily and visit her. It was not that crowded even back then. So
Okay, I just know that there are cars parking on Lower Pope Street, and people walk up.
Wow.
Because
Dangerous.
parking is at a
Yeah,
premium.
that's why I say that will bring a lot of pressure to neighborhoods surrounding when a developer get a free ride on less parking qualification to build some type of housing. So the price is going to be high for the neighborhood surrounding because most of the family have more than one car.
Yeah.
So they're going to need parking.
Yeah.
Where they're going to park, they're going to park in the area where they can find the residential area where actually already congested because it's already dense.
Yeah.
So it's going to be more pressure into that, so it's going to be a
I
chaos.
mean, how often do you find it? You can't find a parking space at 9 o'clock at night.
It's a big thing.
Can't find a
Salem is 8 square miles. We do not have the room when I'm listening to all of this, and I'm thinking, where do they think they're going to get these places to put these cars?
Yeah,
There isn't any place. We've just about used everything up.
yeah.
I think
Well,
that the city needs to start thinking ahead of the curve because what happened in big city like New York and other city, they have parking lot where they can have in a different level. I think we only have 1 or 2 parking that way. We need to create a way to find like the parking lot on Church Street. We need to build something that we can have level so more than one level can accommodate more people because you can add more cars during the Halloween season too. So how we're going to build more housing, bring a lot of people every year for the Halloween season, a lot of visitors, and the population is growing. So how we're going to be able to deal with? So we need to think ahead of the curve and try to create some type of space, maybe in the air.
There's a room for parking in the back of the school. It was a parking for the church originally, but it's now it's very underutilized.
Salem High School? You mean?
No, St. James.
St. James, okay.
On Farrell Street,
Okay.
St. James, the church itself,
Yeah.
yeah.
the church itself.
Yeah.
And so there is room there. But what I would do is I would require the developer, whoever it may be, to build a garage at 2 or 3 stories anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's his or her responsibility.
See, they're not going to do that because if they do that, that adds to the cost, and now it's not going to be it's going to be harder to make low income. So so that's just not going to happen. Now, when I was in Boston years and years ago, there was a place on Newbury Street, and it was a parking garage, and I'm looking at them saying, the parking garage was like just past the width of one car. And I'm saying, how can this be a parking garage? But I needed a place to park, so I pulled in, and there was an elevator in there.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't park on that floor. That floor was all retail. There was an elevator that brought you up like 3 or 4 floors, and they parked up above. Because again, it was underutilized. The office, what was office space at one time, was no longer being used as office space, during the 70s. But so yeah, and again, when at one point in time at this, what before this park next door, a $2 million park was built, they were talking about building luxury condos right on the water. And for parking, they were going to do a 2-story underground garage. And of course the problem was the fact of all the water.
Water.
And basically they said, in effect, they were going to build a bathtub. Like a bathtub doesn't let the water out, this wouldn't let the water in. And it was going to be like completely waterproof, so that they could do this parking lot, sink it 2 stories down for the condos. that were
Right
gonna be-
here, next to the park,
Yeah.
was a little gas station,
Well, it was Dave and Jack's, yeah.
Dave and Jack's,
Yeah.
and they were going to dig down.
Yeah.
So they either it was completely too expensive or not engineered properly.
Yeah, yeah.
Or sometimes they say to Dave and Jack's that no way that it just would not work. It just didn't.
Yeah, the engineers or the but they also
Yeah.
was very expensive.
Right, see, that's the key thing. It's not that they can't make it work. They can make
that's
it
right.
work, but they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it can't make it work in a
In the
in a
Navy
feasible,
Yard in Boston,
financially feasible way.
Well, they wanted to do that with the brick.
Right.
The brick up there on Washington
Was
Street,
going to put in underground
underground,
parking.
until he found out how much it cost.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we
that's
ended up giving a
that's
tip.
when-
and
they let
still
them
didn't
right
do it.
off the hook then.
That's when the whole thing should have gone back to bids,
Right.
Yeah.
and they didn't do it.
The Salem Renewal Authority gave, at its last meeting, the green light to go on the fast track for the Crescent Lot.
Okay.
This summer, as we speak this summer and fall, they're going to do all the excavation work in the Crescent Lot, the piping out to the North River, and get ready for the piping to the courthouses, two courthouses, and the development on the Crescent Lot itself. So
Okay.
it's on the fast track now.
So when you say
Fast track.
piping, you mean like water and sewer?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of construction there.
Isn't that marvelous?
But you know, it's a shame to take. We call it the Almies lot down there.
Right,
on
right,
Church.
yes.
It's a shame to take up that piece of property and build a great big parking garage. It should be. We need commercial businesses
Yeah.
in a downtown area.
Yeah, but then
That
they,
should be a commercial garage. The
Yeah.
Almies lot should be 3 or 4 stories to match.
with retail on the first floor. See,
Right.
that's the thing. Again, if you take a, and put a,
Right.
because everything around it is 5 stories. So if you put retail on the first floor, and then put 4 stories of parking above it, I mean, I think that would
Okay,
be.
yeah.
I absolutely have said that will work forever.
Yeah, I know that when Kevin Harvey was running for mayor, that was one of his things that he was working on.
Absolutely.
And he was going to put the senior center in it,
Right.
and because it was a downtown location,
Downtown,
and that was his, one of his talking points, and he felt that he could get the owner of the telephone building, Flomp, to kick in a good portion of it, and in effect, sell them, a floor or 2 of parking. So it would
Because
value.
that
make
building
his value.
doesn't have much parking.
Right. Yeah.
It's dependent on that lot,
Yeah,
really.
yeah. So the thing is this, that way there, it could be, that the owner of that building would, kick in something or buy a floor of parking or something to that effect.
What did he put on his building on the telephone building? Is it 1 story or 2?
He added 3 stories.
3
stories.
stories.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 2-story.
Very solid building.
Yeah.
And
No problems doing that.
Yeah.
real quick. He put that in so
Again,
quickly. Yeah.
it wasn't done by government.
I wanted the Council on Aging to go in there too, myself personally,
Right, yeah.
downtown.
Right, that was one of the things
Yeah,
that
downtown.
Kevin Harvey when he was running
was
for
ahead of his
mayor
time
was
in that one,
talking
yes.
about that, yeah. Now, you were talking about in the Flomp building itself?
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
The parking, plain parking, good
yeah, yeah.
theaters and
Okay.
everything else. Social Security office was there at the time.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean to ask you, Tom. You brought it up that down there the building, Sweets' building by the Council on Aging. Are they going to keep on working as long as the weather's good, or are they going to stop?
Yes, they're going to continue to work all through the fall in good work, good timing. But it's still a major mystery what's going to go on top. they've got the outline of the buildings and so on, and they paved over certain areas of the Gateway Center that Switzer owns over the years.
Yeah.
And whether he's got the green light to go ahead. He doesn't have to start from scratch. He can go right ahead now this fall, prime weather, good economy, and get it done. Long overdue.
Yeah.
But Domingo and I know it's been a long road getting that done.
Long time. Do you know what happened with the Walgreens building right across?
No, I've asked Tom to, and there is. That was one of his assignments for this show.
I did my homework. I tried to do my homework.
But there's nothing but because they didn't
What
pave
building?
the parking lot, but they resurfaced the parking lot.
What are we talking about?
Walgreens?
The Walgreens at the on Boston
yeah.
Street.
The same owner of that property, I believe, they own Goodhue Street, some apartment complex on Goodhue Street in Flintan. So there may be a possibility of apartments been going there, tearing that down. Because, as you know, the CVS store on Highland Avenue is now turned into a
Dollar Tree.
A Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
Dollar Tree.
That's going to be opening up in mid-September.
And that's amazing that can be done right there. So it's
Yeah.
going to be very interesting what happens.
Yeah.
that prime
with
territory.
with the Walgreens property, that used to be a leather factory.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where the Salem Fire began.
Right. Yeah. but
Salem
that-
Fire, right there.
Yeah.
Started
And but the people that owned the leather factory owned that property up until recently and
Yes.
leased it out
Yes.
to Walgreens. That's my understanding.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't know exactly for sure, but that was my understanding.
From another source,
This guy built behind Walgreens. Too.
Yeah.
The guy that owns it built behind houses behind Walgreens.
yes, I think you're right.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
Mike, I'm not sure on your list whether you had it or not. Do you plan on talking at all about a business in Salem that is moving out as we talk practically?
Oh, Cabot.
Cabot.
Yeah, okay. No, that was not on my list. But Cabot Management, which is a big deal company, housed in Salem for many years,
40 years.
and does not, I mean, it's they have a small footprint and all that, so they're not paying like a lot of real estate taxes like some of the businesses are and stuff like that. But they've been very active in local charities and all this type of stuff, and they just have gotten so fed up with what's happening in the city of Salem that they're moving their offices out of Salem. Yeah.
In regard to what? I mean,
He has about approximately 17 to 21 employees.
Yeah.
And he said his people go out and they don't want to go out in the city of Salem anymore.
Because
he said because of the homeless are a big problem in the downtown area.
Okay. See, I'm no longer downtown, so I'm not all that much
But
in tune with it.
and where are they moving? Where else? But the Cumming Center.
So he say maybe his security, that's what it is? I mean, safety? That's one of the reasons he's moving out? Because of the safety of the city?
I guess so, yeah.
Well, Cabot. I mean, they have been. They have a very large family. They have, as you say, Mike. They have donated to the city of Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have a marvelous financial business that they run.
Yeah.
And it's upper crust. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a shame
Yeah, absolutely, it is.
that we cannot control our own downtown.
Yeah.
Sousa Insurance Company on Lafayette Street is also moving too. That family-oriented business has been in Salem for over 100 years. Sousa, they're moving out because of all that construction in the Gateway Center taking place on the corner of Derby Street and Lafayette Street. They're moving out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're moving
So
out of the
lost
city?
Salem. I lost
Yeah,
Salem.
yeah.
Mistake.
Yeah, the thing is this, I mean,
Susie,
businesses go and businesses come and go all the time. In the Sousa case here, they're doing remodeling to the building. So, at that point in time, they're going to be either shut down for a while or they have to relocate.
Yes,
So they're going to relocate and they're going to say, you know what, our needs are different now than when we moved into this space. So let's find a space that suits us better now. I mean, that's the case. But in the case of Cabot, it's basically in effect an indictment of the way the downtown is looking, I guess. Again, since I'm no longer downtown, I'm not all that much in tune with that.
As he said, you people that They don't feel safe.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is going to
I
borrow our
wonder-
tourism. But another old-time Susie Insurance will be closing too. I
But-
don't know where they'll go.
I wonder when,
Right, but
when
that's,
that
that's what
happened.
Tom was just saying. They're Sousa Insurances, but they're in a building that's being, major construction. So they're gonna. So in their case, they probably look and say, we moved into this building 30 years ago. Our needs have changed. We're either bigger or we're smaller. So they're going to find a space that's more suitable. They may or may not be in Salem still. But we
Susie's
don't know
is
at that
the
point.
old.
On Lafayette Street.
Well, they were over
North
in the
Shore Bankers?
Hawthorne building that over there that they moved from. In fact, I used to think
Susie's, I
Susie
thought,
owned
was
the
in the
building.
old
Yeah.
Eaton's building.
It could have been there.
Right,
It could
yeah,
have been there.
that's
too.
it. Hawthorne.
But I wonder when a business of that magnitude, not because they big, but because they've been here for so many years, when they decided to move out, they probably have some communication with the administration, whoever is the administration,
Yeah.
or the community development institution that had to deal with the businesses. They might have to come in front of them and complain and say, hey, I think that we need some help with the safety of this area because
Yeah.
of this and that and that and that. Can you address that as administration? And that had to be in place, and maybe whoever is in charge had to take action to make sure that doesn't happen anymore, and I know businesses feel they are not only welcome, but they protected, especially when we have an institution for 40, 30
Yeah.
plus year in the city, bringing taxes and bringing services to the community. Why we wait until the last minute to let
Yeah.
them go and not find a solution? If the issue is that the downtown area is being so mixed up because of the homeless population, why not address that situation as soon as possible so that can be taken care of? Because if that is the case, all the business are going to follow through and they're going
Right.
to leave.
Yeah, and the thing is this, again, the person wrote a letter to the editor, and I don't read them thoroughly, but I looked through it, and it did seem like he said, I spoke to, the powers that be multiple times about this,
Right.
and nothing was being done. It's sort of the political
reflect-
correctness of today
that
is the fact
reflects in
that
a
the
negative
homeless
way.
people, they have the most rights in the city nowadays, in many cities. So
Who does?
the homeless, they have the most rights in many cities nowadays.
I was downtown today. I didn't see one.
Again,
one.
I can't answer that. Again, I'm not
I
downtown.
was
so-
downtown today,
Yeah.
in a business downtown, and I didn't see one homeless person.
Well, again,
And you must have gone
I'm not
during
downtown, so
was
I
it
don't know.
lunchtime?
3 o'clock.
If it's lunchtime,
3 o'clock.
they're having lunch.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Rob
Well,
Lutz's family, the owner of
I'm
Cabin and Cabin,
saying-
is
Yeah.
instrumental in the Congregational Church across the street from Bricks
Yeah.
a restaurant. And also the Lutz family owns the Mayflower Inn on the end of Bridge Street neck itself. And they renovated the whole
Okay.
Mayflower Inn on the end of the other end of the Bridge Street, Beverly Salem Bridge.
Okay.
So a big family, a great family.
Okay.
well, where Cabot is moving out, what I think is moving in? Another small hotel. There's 2 or 3 small hotels that are going to be opening up in Salem, besides the one down there, the Marriott.
The new
Okay.
hotel in the Commons going to open up, an inn by the Story family, the Story
Is
building
this the
house.
one that's
Judge Story?
right? That's actually on here where they converting from a 3-family house to a 9-room inn. Yeah. And because
Are we
both
talking about-
both are non-conforming to the neighborhood.
What street is that?
Is that the Story
Common.
House? I
The Story House, yeah.
family.
But I always knew it as the Ward House, John Ward and his wife Pauline. I know it goes back in history, but
It was John Ward.
They want to put in something similar to Airbnb in there, and the neighbors are all upset
Yeah.
because there is no room for parking.
Yeah.
None.
Parking again.
And it's a beautiful piece of property.
Oh,
And to cut it up is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
But Councilor Ty Hapsworth did the same thing on Howard Street.
The lawyer, the
He did
last
the Park House.
owner was the lawyer
Okay,
Same
and he
thing.
converted it to a Airbnb?
B&B.
who had a
Airbnb.
TV show.
Right on Howard Street. Same thing.
Okay,
It should really be a museum. It really,
Yeah.
it's beautiful inside.
Yeah, and it was redone, and it was
Right.
redone perfectly.
okay.
Oh yeah, to the tune of about 10
Okay,
or 15 million. Yeah.
City Council is voting on limiting condo conversion by basically making it just requiring a long lag time of notification and rights for the tenants that are in the spots, in the places, and things like that. And of course, the argument on both sides are, again, we've just have lost so much of our housing stock, our
The
rental
horse
stock.
is out of the barn.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot left. But on the other hand, it's like, a person has a piece of property, they've lived there for many, many years, and say, okay, fine, I want to retire and move to some other warmer country or a warmer state or something, and they can't cash out their retirement there, in effect. So it's a tricky thing. So do we know what the, where that is in on the city
I think we
council?
have to give credit to Councilor Ty Hapsworth. And
Yeah.
it's in committee now, being
Yeah.
further investigation, because it's not going to be done overnight. It's
Yeah.
it's going to have a lot of rippling effects, as you
Yeah.
say, for homeowners and so on there. So it's probably a tool in the toolbox, one tool in the toolbox to keep apartments going and less condominiums. As I think the city assessor was asked at one of the last public meetings, and he says more apartments are turned into condominiums, as you
Yeah.
mentioned. So it's a scary situation for people trying to stay in apartments,
Yeah.
stay in homes, not buying condominiums.
Well, there is a new incentive that's being talked about at the State House that affects local business, local housing, is that they're talking about a local option water fee for new development. So that's going to encourage cities and towns to,
Mike, that's an old idea.
yeah,
It was killed in the courts.
really?
Yeah, 50
Yeah, the only
years.
thing is, I mean, again, we talked about the trash fee. I mean, that trash fee would have been killed in the courts, a few years earlier,
Right.
and it was allowed to go through. So
Right.
you don't know with
I
the
know.
courts.
And then the water fee was, well, it's called a water connection then.
Yeah.
In order to
What is
build, you had to have a water connection.
so? What
Yeah.
exactly? What exactly
I'm not
is it
following.
all about?
It's a water fee.
Well, basically, what it would do, I mean, actually, Mayor Driscoll.
To tie into the system.
When Mayor Driscoll was mayor, she did it anyways, in a way, because since everything was non-conforming, anytime you wanted to build something in Salem, it was not allowed by, unless you needed a special permit
By
for
the
it.
zoning
Right.
law.
So the thing is this, she would say to the developers, I mean, again, this is speculation on my part, but it's pretty regular. We would see a developer would say, yes, I've agreed to pay this much towards the school, I've agreed to fix this park, I've agreed to do this other thing having nothing to do with the project, and lo and behold, the project gets approved. So the thing is this is being done, I'm sure it's not only in Salem, but this is being done in many, many communities. This is just going to make it above board. I mean, just like, we had a similar thing with the hosting fees for, the pot businesses. And they're suing because it wasn't for the stated use, and they didn't give, because it was never going to be for the stated use. They just came up with
money.
a number, give us this number because you're going to be able to, you're going to get it fast-tracked through for approval, and therefore that's what you're paying us to fast-track for approval, but someone dropped the ball on, following through on the paperwork, and one of the places is suing to recover their money, and it's a significant amount of money, which is going to be paid for, if the city of Salem loses, by the taxpayers. It's not going to be paid for by the city employees who allowed this to happen. So it's just one of
It's
those
just
things.
like me saying, okay, if you let me build this fifth story on the house that I have up to 5 stories,
Yeah.
then I'll do something nice. I will build a floating parking garage.
Yeah,
And the floating parking garage will be able to hold 100 cars.
yeah, yeah.
And come to think of it, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, so that's sort of, what that
Yeah,
type of thing
okay.
is.
Now I got you.
Salem was one of the first cities to go for mitigation for the marijuana business, and some of the money for the marijuana business the city used was the traffic on Grove Street and Mason Street, right near the marijuana center. It made a whole redirection of redesigned the intersection where the marijuana place is now,
Yeah.
where it's very popular.
Right, but the thing is this, basically they extorted, I mean, that's not a nice word, but they basically
They did.
extorted
They did.
the businesses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they say to the businesses, you're going to make money. We want a piece of the action, and this is how you're going to give it to us. It's legal, but it doesn't make it any nicer. But okay, City of Salem was granted a $1.4 million workforce development grant. Now, this is
Is that in conjunction with the new program in Salem High School
yeah.
that will help the youth to get a career and try to build a way so they can, when they finish high school, they can get out and work.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is, and also in conjunction with the new winds plant that will also employ some of the youth so they can go ahead and be in the labor force.
Yeah.
So
Who's going to control that?
I don't know exactly, but that's conversation has been in place for many, many years. I thought that had already been in place, but it's coming now. So hopefully the system will allow our children to get into a career base so they can be employed by those resources that being
I
in
mean,
place.
the thing is this. I mean, there is a shortage of skilled,
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
plumbers,
Carpenters.
electrician.
electricians, carpenters.
Yeah.
There's just a real shortage of that.
It's a good thing. I
Car
think
repair.
if it's being put in place
Yeah.
and make it to work, it's going to help a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a release apprenticeship with some of the companies. But Salem for many, many years had the thing where they would release, it was in the business that when I went to high school, I took a classical. That meant I was probably, if I could afford it, go to college.
Yeah.
But the business people, some of them, were released at like lunchtime, a couple of
Yeah.
days a week, and they found jobs. People would put in
Yeah.
jobs that they had,
Yeah.
and I think that's a great idea. And that's what these companies, electricians,
Yeah.
and some of the big ones are doing now
Yeah.
for the workforce.
Yeah, I had an employee of mine back in the 80s who left me because he was doing the electrician type program, and he was apprenticing with an electrician, and so he could no longer work for me because those hours that he was working for me part-time was going to be working for an electrician. But
Jim started a program on the school committee with the nursing and the hospital collaboration right next door.
We have a
Win-win.
absolutely. You can graduate from that program and go to work the next day.
yeah,
Wow.
That's how many jobs there are.
yeah.
That's the gag.
You just mentioned the school committee. Jim, what's your feelings on redshirting?
Redshirting in football?
In other words, redshirting, this is really in the news right now. Has anyone heard about
No.
Is it
redshirting?
football? I mean, is it
what I
like
thought.
I mean, red shirt was a football term
too.
where
a red-
a freshman would not be allowed to play the
No,
first year.
You
you
hold-
hold,
But I've never heard of any
you
other.
hold the kid out for, or a player out for a year, and he has to sit. The term came because he had to originally wear a red shirt, and he could not get into the game
No.
that year.
The redshirting, and you hear about it. If you hadn't, I'm amazed. It's been out there for quite a while now, and they're talking about it. But some places are saying yes, they want it. No, they don't. No, they're going to do it or not.
Okay, and what
but
is it?
It is the fact that boys have mature not as quickly as girls in some areas.
Okay.
That is a proven fact by a psychologist from Suffolk University who gave a long dissertation on it.
Okay.
And so the big thing is, are we better off holding back our boys, you know, that fall under this line, and they're saying redshirting.
Oh, so in other words, you're going to keep them back a grade?
No,
No.
In other words, they don't go to kindergarten in the beginning. In other words, kindergarten should be ready for the child, or should the child be ready for kindergarten?
I see.
And some of them are not mature enough.
Okay.
And in other words, they don't do very well, and as opposed to maybe walking or running with it as the years go along,
Yeah.
they have an easy time. They're always trying to catch up.
Okay.
So, and it's true, I will say, that doesn't mean every single boy falls into this category.
Okay.
But they said the only some people are against it, holding them back and not sending them,
Yeah.
because they feel as if, that would mean that they have to go to preschool for another year and it's expensive.
Okay.
Then if people fall in that category, then there should be government help for those people.
Okay.
Because it's I myself, a teacher for many years,
Yeah.
I watched some boys that fell under that category,
Okay.
that always struggled, and not that there aren't some girls.
15
but-
years ago, I tried to do that for a child of a very prominent family here in Salem. They would not let it go, and then the parents knew that this boy was going to be a stellar athlete, and it went down, I think, 6-1, if not 5-2. So it's not a new idea. They've been trying to do it here for a long time, but I don't think it's going to be accepted, at least in terms of this, call it the educators community. I don't think-
Yes, yeah.
I don't think they'll ever accept it.
Okay.
But we all don't mature or grow.
Well, I have a
change.
sister. I have a sister who's a sharp cookie, who's held out 1 grade. As she progressed, she was not mature enough socially. She was great academically, but not well. And she had to, after she graduated, go back to Salem High School for a year. So she had to go to high school for 5 years.
Huh. Okay.
And that's Sally Fleming Hayes.
Former Ward 6 city councilor.
Right.
Okay. Married to head of the Salem Republican Party for many years, right? Wasn't her husband?
Husband is.
Yeah.
And she's on the Salem Retirement Board, so she's very, very
okay.
active. Very
Okay.
active.
Yeah.
You got a good sister.
Yeah, she's a good sister.
Okay.
It's her 60th anniversary today.
Okay.
Happy
Send her a
anniversary. to her.
congratulations. That's amazing.
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
amazing. Great family.
Yep.
Okay. Salem Maritime area has now been designated as a National Historic Park. I'm not sure what it was before. What was it before that it's now?
National Historic Site, S-I-T-E.
Oh, okay. Now
site.
it's a site. Now it's a park.
Park.
I wonder.
Okay.
That will give it more discretion, federal funds on a national level.
Okay.
The Great Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri,
Yeah.
for the gateway to the west,
Right, yeah.
is with the smallest national park
Yeah.
in the country.
Yeah.
And Salem's going to be in that same twin of that. It will get more money, more designated fund. I recently saw Annie Harris, who's very prominent in the
Right. She
friendship.
was for many years. Annie
Partnership.
Harris is for many years been involved with a lot of historical preservation.
That had to do anything with the celebration on the 450th anniversary of the city?
No, I think it was. I think that Annie Harris approached Senator Markey to get it on the front burner, and it finally got on the front burner in the past.
Yeah.
So it's a national historic national park, which is
Right,
quite,
yeah.
quite a compliment to Salem.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, for many years, it was dedicated to William H. Bates, who was a stellar Republican, but a stellar congressman from the area. So myself and others have tried to find the markers and the signs which were torn down when they took away the submarine and that we used to have for training purposes.
Yeah.
And it was torn down and never replaced.
Yeah.
And to this day, the Bates family is a little upset
Yeah.
that
Great family. Great
they're a
family.
great family.
Mayors, congressmen. Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you mentioning the maritime, so on and so forth, the Peabody Essex Museum is going to do a very large display of maritime in our museum, the PEM as people call it. They were noted for their maritime things, and then as the years went along, and new people became involved, they changed it.
Well, that's
So all of the things that they have, and they have hundreds of things up there in, I think it's Rowley, that they have.
it's Raleigh, and I was just about to ask, will that include some things from Raleigh?
Yeah.
Because it's wrong for those things to be in Raleigh. They should have acquired a site annex here in Salem. Those are Salem artifacts, period.
Yeah.
We tried very hard. Mayor Driscoll administration tried to put that library, which is up in Rowley, an old toy center, and the old toy center on Rowley, right near the Agawam Diner on the same side, it makes Home Depot look small.
Yes,
Home
it
Depot.
does.
It is so big, so well organized, and Kim Driscoll was the mayor, tried to get it down in Shetland Park
Yeah.
and on Swampscott Road. But the Peabody Essex Museum, in their wisdom, I think, with climate change and everything else going on, thought that a safe site would be Rowley. And I visited the site twice myself. I work at the Peabody Essex Museum, and would you believe, as we speak, by December of this year, the East India Maritime Hall, which is the oldest part of the museum, where the ship captains would show and tell their goods, that's all going to be restored and fixed by December, getting ready for the 250th anniversary
Right.
of our great city. Yeah.
Of the country.
Yes.
In the country, in the city.
Country.
Yeah.
They have it all planned
Our
right
city
now.
is older than 250 years.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So the
400.
city's coming up to 400.
Yes,
Yeah.
they'll be ready by that time.
Yeah. Now, thing is this. I mean, the Peabody Essex Museum, they have a lot of wonderful things, but they haven't really been a friend to the city of Salem.
Certainly not.
They allowed the armory to deteriorate to the point, because they wanted to tear it down,
Right,
and they allowed it to deteriorate to the point in time that they had to tear it down.
right.
That was not, I don't believe that was accidental, and many people don't believe that was accidental. They knew that if they did nothing and just sort of studied it and studied it and studied it, eventually it would, in effect, fall down on its own, and that's what happened. And so they put a little bit of an archway there, and they said, yep, we did our part. Here's the memoriam to the Salem Armory.
The National Park Service is there now in the Visitor Center
Yeah.
at the old Armory, and the Peabody Essex Museum has storage facilities and office space there. And
Yeah.
it has a premier park called Armory Park, and
Yeah.
then right beside Armory Park
Yeah,
is
that
actual
Armory Park,
gardens.
I mean, that should have been an Armory building. That was supposed to be a building.
It should have been a building.
that
yeah.
would have been very expensive to do.
Right.
And I agree with you, Mike. They are not friendly through the city of Salem the way they should be,
Yeah.
but they don't have to be, because they were given almost a free pass.
Yeah.
They could do anything that they wanted
Yeah.
when they wanted to.
Right, when they
moved
would wanted
everything
to
out
do
of
the expansion,
That the Essex-
they, in effect, and I've said this in the past, I would much rather be playing poker against the mayor at the time than against the head of the Peabody Essex Museum, because he bluffed him right out of his shoes. He said, we're going to move to Boston. And for one thing, if he moved to Boston, there's no way Boston would let him in without a very stiff pilot, payment in lieu of taxes, because they're very stiff on their pilot in Boston. And the other thing is this, there would have been one museum amongst many, and not the most impressive. Here it is on the North Shore, it's the most impressive. So it's they would have been a small fish in a big pond, where here they're the only fish in the pond.
I give credit to Councilor Lenny O'Leary, our good friend Councilor Lenny O'Leary. He was the one who got Salem citizens to go free into the PBS
Yeah.
Museum all year round. It's normally $25 a head,
Yeah.
$13 for children to go into the PBS Museum. I worked there as a security guard.
Yeah.
So he was the one to make it a user-friendly museum for
Yeah.
families to come in free.
Yeah. Again,
They also took a street.
yeah, it doesn't cost them anything either.
Right.
I mean, a little bit of extra sweeping up or something like
Yeah.
that. I mean, again, it's not like it costs them anything to have people in there. And if the place is full, there's very few times a year where the place is full. So it's no skin off their nose. So yeah, I mean, it is what Lenny did was good, but it wasn't like PBS Museum, which they always tout. When we talk about payment in lieu of taxes, they always tout. We allow, we have 100,000 visits from Salem residents. That's $250,000 that we're giving the city of Salem, and that's baloney, But
The
anyway,
actual
we're going to be
garden.
finishing up in about a minute here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's just want to get hit a hot topic we missed. I think you talked about it when you talked about Cabot leaving.
Yes?
Okay, Domingo, for you.
No, I'm
Okay.
A shout out to a great guy, my former gym teacher at Salem High School, who worked at Salem High School for over 40 years.
Yeah.
He was a lifeguard for 40 years.
Yeah.
Bootsy Chenard was just recognized.
He was an Army veteran who-
Bootsy Chenard.
who-
There will be a lifeguard center named after him up at Salisbury
Right,
Beach
he was
after him.
a-
I had him as a gym teacher. He's a track
He's a-
coach
Yeah.
teacher. Greg Agar, Bootsy Chenard. He just turned 101 years old.
Okay.
Sharp as a tack.
Okay.
Governor Maura Healey was teasing him on
He was a
broadcast
veteran
yesterday.
of either Omaha Beach or Juneau Beach
World War II
in
veteran. indeed.
Okay.
in the invasion on D-Day.
Okay.
I had him as a gym teacher. Just a great guy. Track
Okay.
coach too. Great guy.
Jim, anything?
No.
That's okay. Okay.
Except we should have in Salem some place analogous to the place that I live in.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous 3,000 people, tremendous success,
Yeah.
and we had chances in several spots. I know we talked about the parking lot down where the train station is.
Yeah.
But,